Out in the woods,
Showing the live one here. I'm waiting for a comment from my beautiful wife. Let us know that we are live.
Cold winds howl through hollers and brooks. Whispers of Bigfoot in the way it looks.
Not showing anybody in here yet.
I told you that was real popular.
Under a pale moon,
It'll be fine.
strange glowing light. Truth out there like a bladed cut.
We might make it through the entire intro music before she says we're
Monsters
live.
and mullets run 'em up.
Okay, we are live on YouTube. Waiting on confirmation from
Radio
Facebook.
static, stories told,
We got
hush.
Audacious Amber in here.
Lights in the sky.
She's ready to
leave the
watch.
stars crushed.
And we are live on, okay, we are live on YouTube.
Paranormal haze
Waiting
rips
for the
the
Facebook,
seams.
and then we'll shut down the
Miss
music.
monsters and bullets in the night. Under a pale moon,
Icebox in
strange
the
glowing
house.
light.
Going on Icebox.
Truth out there like a
As soon as I get
bladed
confirmation on
cut.
Facebook, we'll shut the music off here.
Miss monsters and mullets run 'em up.
Live on Facebook. Here we go. All right. Welcome in, everybody. Miss Monsters and Mullets Live. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. Facebook comments don't appear to be coming up right now. Sometimes it takes them a moment to catch up. But tonight, we have James Sparks on the show. And I really need to
Hi,
thank
John.
James because I'd done a promo earlier in the week saying that Rye from Codex of Curiosities was coming on tonight. And he had a scheduling conflict. And I put out the mullet signal on Facebook, and James says, I got you. He says, I want to come on and see the mullet.
That's right. Hey,
So-
some of us are follically challenged, so yeah, we need the mullet to remind us what it's like.
Well, James, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
All right, John. My name's Jim Sparks. I'm a paranormal / cryptid / UFO investigator, and I've been doing it for over 40 years. I started back in the 80s. Started out with ghost hunting first, and this was well before shows like Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures or any of that was around. Went because I had, as a kid growing up, I'd have experiences, and I don't like to be afraid of anything. And at that time, I was afraid of the dark. So what better way to get over your fear of being afraid of the dark than start looking in the dark for what goes bump in the night?
Right.
So I do presently have a YouTube channel, a Facebook channel, and a TikTok channel. It's all Paranormal Fellowship. You just search that and you'll find it. And I do it because I'm getting old. My memory is starting to go. And I'm too lazy to write everything down and a diary and everything. So I just do a video diary of all these adventures, encounters, whatever you want to call them, that I've had over all these years. And I've always told my close friends that I've hit the trifecta. I've seen Bigfoot. I've seen ghosts. I've seen UFOs. And if I lived over in Scotland, I'd be out there every day looking for Nessie. That would be the ultimate. That'd be the 4 ace high,
Right.
So, like I said, and it's been fun because modern science, because science is never wrong. They always agree with who's ever funding them. Is they know everything.
That's right.
Well, how boring is this world if they know everything? So I guess I was watched too many Scooby-Doo shows when I was a kid growing up. But I think that there's more mysteries out there, and I want to be the one to go out there and find it. I'm past the point of trying to prove it to everybody. It's just now just for my own personal belief, sanity, whatever you want to call it.
Right. I don't think we're seeing the comments on Facebook. So everybody, I apologize that if I don't respond. I'm only seeing the comments on YouTube right now. So we have Paul's Paranormal in here, Icebox, Audacious Amber, and the lovely Mrs. Fike.
Well, hey all.
So you go by Jim or James?
I go by Jim, or sometimes because of my last name, people just call me Sparky.
Sparky.
Yeah, as long as you don't call me late for dinner, I'm down with anything.
So Jim, you said you started out with the paranormal.
Correct.
A lot of times on my lives, we don't get into encounter stories, but you have scheduled an interview early next year
Yes, sir.
to talk about UFOs and Bigfoot.
Correct.
So tonight, why don't we use this time to go over, since the paranormal is what got you, what you first started in. Let's go over some of, your first encounters, what got you into the paranormal.
All right. Now you have to understand, and I'm sure you probably know this, but from starting investigating paranormal in the 80s, there was no K2 meters and there's no EMF meters, and there's no, what do they call it, that Panasonic DR60, they call it like the ghost box, and all kinds of different names, or the one with the Xbox and their camera system hooked up to the laptop.
SLS.
Yeah, there was none of that. Back in the day, we used a candle, to check for wind flow. We used a compass for magnetic readings and interference. And you just, that big old Polaroid one step that you took the picture and then you waited for it to, develop. And oh yeah, it was a lot different then than it is now. But I think doing that has helped me in all my endeavors, whether it was ghost hunting or UFO hunting or Bigfoot hunting, because there's no set science that says this is what you have to do. Part of the fun is exploring. So one of the very first, let me say, public, because we went on a public ghost hunt at a place, and it was a fairly well-known place. If you're not familiar with Northwest Pennsylvania, it's called Hillview Manor in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Now, this place at the time was just opening up for ghost hunting. I was actually the second part of the second group to go through there. And the first group that went through there used to be a group I was involved with that we sort of went our own way. Can you still see me? You sort of froze up.
You're not frozen. There you go. I wasn't getting video for a second from you.
Yeah, it popped up, said add effects or something. I had to close it out.
Oh, okay.
So we went up there. Now, the first group, when they do their investigations, they do, they send the psychics, oh, I feel this, oh, I feel that, oh, I feel this. Well, at the time, the group I was in, we had been doing this for a while, where we had every gadget you could think of at the time. We had the K2 meters, the EMF meters, the thermal imaging. We had the black light cameras. We had the DVR systems. You name it, we had it. And we're going through the walkthrough at the very beginning, and it's still daylight out. And it always used to get me when people would say, oh, I'm not going to do daylight tour or daylight, because ghosts aren't there. Ghosts don't care. They don't care if it's daylight or not. They're still, doing their thing.
Wait, you mean ghosts aren't on third shift all the time?
No. Sometimes they take a break and they do it during the day too. But as we're walking through, and we're on they call it 1 North, and we're right by the nurse's station, and we can actually hear the what do they call them? Those where it drips the saline down, the IVs. We can hear the IV machines beeping, like there's something still going on. We can hear curtain rods sliding.
What?
And it's like, okay, we got all of our gear back at the lobby area. We don't have nothing with us. But that place, Hillview Manor, oh, the stuff that happens up there is amazing. Now, I know you're the ultimate 80s ladies man, right?
That's right. Half my following is older women.
Well, there you go. They'll like this one. And I got 2 good ones for older women. So my favorite spot on Hillview Manor is up on the 3rd floor, because there's stories about 2 older gentlemen up there that love to play practical jokes. And that's what they were always into, is they would pull jokes. I mean, these guys were great. There's a golf course right behind this Hillview Manor. They would go back there, and when golf balls got hit by them, they would step on the golf ball until the golfers passed, and then they would clean it up, go up and offer to sell it for $1 to the golfer so they'd get money to buy cigarettes. So, most people ghost hunt, they go up there. Is there any ghost here with us? Do you know you're dead? How'd you die? Yeah, okay, yeah. Like, they ain't heard this a million times before. And, okay. So I go up there and I always play around and have jokes with them. So we're doing this one night, we're doing a volunteers night. So all the people volunteered to help clean up and do all kinds of stuff. They were giving us a free ghost hunt for the night. So this one lady, Kara, is up there with me in a small little group on the 3rd floor. And we're being smart asses, just joking around. And I said, you better calm down, Kara. I'm going to smack your ass. And she just starts laughing and she shakes it. And I walk up behind her, boom, like that. Right then, as soon as I did that, every piece of gear we had started going off. K2 meters are going off. EMF meters are going off. Everything's going off. We're getting EVPs of old guys laughing. Okay. So they
awesome.
like to have this, they're dead, but they still have their sense of humor.
I know I will.
Exactly. Now, you'll probably like this one. I was doing one of the 2-hour tours. It was the last tour of the night. And when we were done with this tour, it meant we had to lock everything up and leave.
And we know what happens on a 3-hour tour. You end up stranded on an island.
Well, if it's with Ginger and Marianne, I'm in for it. But so I'm leading this tour and we're going around and we get up to the 3rd floor, the area that I like. And we've already been on about 3 hours, 4 hours, because we don't want to quit. We want to keep going. And back then the term wasn't available yet, but it fits now. This Karen, this short, heavy-set, blonde old lady stands up in front of everyone and goes, "We've been here for 3 hours and I haven't seen a ghost yet. I want to see a ghost now." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, ghosts just come out whenever you ask them to, right?"
Yeah, she said, I want to see the ghost manager.
Yeah, exactly. Probably one of us thought of it. So I'm like, okay, well, let's try this. I said, we got to do 3 things. And maybe with the 3 things, maybe, just maybe, we'll see or hear something. And they're like, okay, what do we do? I said, first off, everyone find a spot against the wall to stand or sit or whatever and get there. So you get all the shuffling, everyone gets there. I said, okay, now what? I said, turn off all lights, no flashlights, no camera lights, no nothing. All lights off. Now that one didn't go over real well. They weren't happy about that, but they finally agreed to it. And okay, what's the last thing? I said, last thing is shut up. Sit here for 30 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever. And don't say anything. So they're like, okay, we could do that. We could do that. So everyone, it's like, all right. So we stop. And about 30 seconds into it, you start hearing, and the whispering from them keeps getting louder and louder because they're afraid of the dark. So they're all whispering to each other. Oh, did you hear that? Oh, did you hear that? Oh, did you smell? It's like, oh, geez. So I'm like, all right, I'll tell you what. You all watch Ghost Hunters, right? And I'm like, yeah. I said, you've seen the flashlight sessions on Ghost Hunters. And they're like, yeah. I said, well, up here, you can usually have a pretty good flashlight session. I said, here, what I'll do is I'll put one flashlight on the left side of the nurse's station and one flashlight on the right side of the nurse's station. I said, and then we'll ask questions. I said, now here's the difference. When you ask a question, don't say, turn the light on. Say, okay, turn the light on when I count to 5. If it comes on when you say 5, then it counts. If it comes on before or after, it doesn't count. And just pick random numbers. So I start doing that, and we're getting instant responses, correct with the lights, with the numbers, lights with the numbers. So finally, the one lady goes, well, I want to see the light over on the right turn on. I said, okay. I said, all right, if you're here, I know you're here. I want you to turn off that light on the left and then turn the light on the right when I count to 6. So I count to 6 and the light on the left goes off and then you hear footsteps.
Really?
And then the light on the right turns on. So they're like all into it now. And I'm not paying attention to them. I'm having fun with talking with the ghosts and doing the lights. And that Karen with her great big, you remember the road hazard flashlights that have bright strobe and yellow lights and all that stuff on them?
Yeah.
She's got that in her chest. So I go up to the flashlights and I say, okay. I said, if you like to play jokes on people, turn on the count of 3. So I count to 3, nothing happens. So I'm like, all right, come on, guys. I know you're messing around with me. This time, turn on the count of 4 if you like to play jokes. Nothing happens. So I'm like, all right, you've got me enough. You pulled a good joke on me. Everyone's laughing. I said, turn on when I count to 5 if you like to play jokes. I count to 5, and it is the god-awful, loudest scream you have ever heard in your life. That Karen, who was standing in front of everybody with that big emergency light in her arms, the light jumped all the way to the emergency strobing, went past the high and low, all the way to the emergency strobing, and turned on, and she's screaming, and I look, and as I'm looking at her, she wets herself the whole way down.
She wasn't ready.
No, she wanted
not ready to see a ghost.
Yeah, when she did, that was enough. I looked at her and said, okay, that's it, we're done.
Wow. So what got you, like, what got you started in, like, did you have a paranormal encounter, or was it just an interest from the time you were little?
Well, it's kind of really personal, but I'll go into it for you.
Well, you don't have to. You don't have.
No, it's all right. I'll go into it.
Okay.
When I was in my early teens, like 13 years old, I would go to bed and I'd wake up with scratches, bruises, and bite marks. And the house we were living in, my parents built, so it wasn't like it was from someone who lived there and died or anything like that. And I used to sit there when my mom and dad would ask me, where'd you get that bruise from? How'd you get that? I'd say, I was out playing in the woods, or, I was out playing football, or, you always have some sort of story, because ain't no one going to believe you. You say, I went to bed and I woke up and these were here. Something was, holding me down and bit me. No one's going to believe that.
Right.
So, like I told you, I was afraid. I'm 13 years old and I'm sleeping with a light on because I'm afraid of the dark.
Wow.
I don't like to be afraid of anything. I've worked at, I don't know if you have them out there in Indiana or used to, Big Lots.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I used to be a cashier at a Big Lots store in Youngstown, Ohio, and I've had guns pulled on me and told me, to give them the cash and that. Okay, that's fine. Here, it's not scary. Just do it, do whatever. But I'm afraid of walking in the dark. So I'm like, I got to figure out what it is. So that's what triggered me into ghost hunting. Is I had to find out what was actually there in the dark, going bump, that was terrorizing me. And I found out it wasn't the house, it wasn't the land, it's me. Because I've lived in Florida, I've lived in different parts of Western Pennsylvania and Ohio, and wherever I live, it still happens. And it had still been going on up till about 4 years ago when it got really, really bad. I can send you some pictures that show me with my right eye socket busted because it pushed me down onto the corner of a table. And
wow.
I couldn't open my eyes. It picked me up. At the time, I weighed 360 pounds. I'm a light guy now at only 280. It picked me up out of bed, threw me across the room and into the closet doors on the other side. I can show you pictures and videos of like my head being ripped open from it throwing me around in the living room. It got so bad. I was sleeping on a camping blow-up mattress in the living room. So, like I said, this was attached to me. It wasn't attached to anywhere that I've lived. It was following me around, and I don't know where it came from because this was before I ever started ghost hunting.
So did your parents, were they into the paranormal, or did they believe in the paranormal?
Not in the slightest. No. I didn't find out until I was 52 that my father believed in Bigfoot.
Really?
Yeah, and my mom doesn't believe in any of it. My dad doesn't believe in the ghost or anything like that, but he believes in Bigfoot.
Yeah. Wow. Because I was trying to figure out where this would have came from, because if you weren't into the paranormal, I was kind of maybe thinking a generational thing, but if your parents didn't believe in it, how about grandparents or anything like that?
No. And you got to remember, back then you didn't have the internet, and you didn't talk about ghosts on TV unless it was a cartoon and it was Casper or Scooby.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So I have no idea, but something was really coming after me hard. And I eventually had some good friends of mine, Brian and Terry Seach. They recommended a friend of theirs, Aurora, and she came up and she performed a cleansing ceremony on me. And knock on wood, so far it's been good. I haven't had anything happening since.
Wow. I mean, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
we don't know what caused it, but something liked you.
Yeah.
Or didn't like you, one of the two.
Yeah. Somewhere along the lines. Yeah, but 360 pounds, it literally picked me up and threw me from the bed across the way into the closet doors.
Now, could you feel like, was it just like a force, or could you feel hands or something like that?
It just felt, best way I can say it is, I guess the way you said it, a force. Because I never felt the hands, but I always knew the next morning when I'd get up and I'd look in the mirror, I knew there'd be a bruise somewhere. Even though I didn't feel it at night, I always knew there'd be a bruise somewhere. At the time, I was starting to wonder, am I being abducted by aliens?
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, because it's like, I thought I had the whole ghost world figured out. I can control ghosts and things like that. And then I was talking to Brian and Terry, and I was telling them about what's going on. I showed them the pictures, and that's when they got in touch with this Aurora. And Aurora came up here and said, no, it's definitely, you got something, some sort of spirit in here. It's really powerful, and like it's attached to you, not the house.
Wow. So okay, you start doing the ghost hunting. You haven't cleansed yourself yet. Do you think that maybe whatever was attached to you helped spur on the activity that you were able to capture and witness?
Actually, I do, because there's a lot of times I would go to places like Waverly Hills Sanatorium and what Mackey's down there in Kentucky. It's supposed to be demonic hauntings and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone else would be having stuff happening to them like crazy. And it's like, I was in this bubble where everything would stay away from me. Like if there was a demonic haunting wherever I was at, it would stay away from me, but it would go after everybody else I was with. Now, if I went to a place that was just like ghosts, it was like, it was a magnet. Just ghosts were like drawn to me.
Wow. So maybe whatever was attached to you was demonic.
It's possible.
And oh, wow. I don't know. Not knowing how or what caused it, normally when you hear people that have an attachment, there's something that they can remember in their childhood. Or do you have any siblings?
Nope. I technically have one, but I'm disowned, and he's 12 years younger than me. So really, no.
Okay. I was thinking maybe, maybe the attachment went to the wrong kid or something. I don't know.
But even to let you know, even back in our day, the Ouija board was the thing. I didn't even play at the Ouija board.
Wow. Man, that's bizarre.
I even had a coven of witches trying to do witchcraft spells on me, like the levitation spell and things like that. Yeah, none of that worked.
Well, maybe they weren't good witches.
I'm thinking they were more talk than they were actually witches. maybe take the W out and change it with a B.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can claim to be one, but if you can't back it up, maybe you just watch too much Harry Potter. I don't know.
I think they watched a little bit too much something, and maybe smoked a little too much something.
Wow. So, we won't get into encounters and stuff though, but what you started with the paranormal, what spurred your interest into Bigfoot?
All right, a real quick, brief one, because I'll save this story for when we're doing our recording, and I'm just going to really do the highlights. Myself and 4 friends walking in the woods, getting stuck between 2 Bigfoots, one in the swamp in front of us and one over a 20-foot cliff behind us. And the one in the swamp in front of us, after about 20 minutes, ripping a tree out of the ground and throwing a tree at us. And the next
that
day,
would spur my interest too.
Well, yeah, we did our best Scooby-Doo impersonation. We ran out of the woods as fast as we could.
Yeah, we'll go over that on when you come in and do your one-on-one interview. Wow.
Yeah. See, I was a deer hunter, and I hunted deer and small game, and I've seen a lot of. I don't know about Indiana. I've never hunted out there, but I know in Pennsylvania and Ohio, there's nothing in the woods that's supposed to be able to pick a tree up out of the ground. We're talking, you could hear it ripping the roots out of the ground and then throw it at you. I've never seen any other critter do that.
My ex-wife.
Well, that's Indiana. I haven't seen her yet.
No, we don't have anything in the Midwest that can do that.
Yeah.
So
Well, see, that's what got me interested in, because like after that, hunting deer became boring.
yeah, yeah.
So
Wow.
now a
So
little bit.
so then, how long ago did you start your YouTube channel?
Oh, the YouTube channel's been around for a while, but I just started posting videos about 12, 18 months ago.
Okay.
Before that, it was just like, everyone has a YouTube channel so you can watch videos. But I didn't. I just started posting stuff about paranormal about 12, 18 months ago.
Okay. And it's Fellowship Paranormal, correct?
Yeah, Paranormal Fellowship.
Paranormal Fellowship. I'm going to put that up here so people can see it. I'm not a typist, people, so just you got to hang on just a second, okay? There we go.
It's all right. I'm right there with you. Hey, we're good looking. We don't have to be typists.
That's right. That's right. When you look like this, you got people to type for you.
Exactly.
Everybody go over and check out Paranormal Fellowship. Give them a subscription, check out his stuff.
Everything's free. There's no
No,
subscription.
I know. It's called subscribing on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit that subscribe button.
Go ahead and subscribe. I think I got like 5 people subscribed on there.
You got more than that. I was on there last night.
Like I said, I do it more for my memories than I do it for views or anything.
And I think a lot of people should do that. We grew up in a time where people didn't talk about the paranormal. So a lot of this stuff has to be from memory.
Yeah.
And like you said, we're not getting any younger.
Right.
We're going to start forgetting stuff, and it's going to be lost forever. These stories and these encounters are going to be lost forever if people aren't documenting somewhere.
Right.
If you don't feel comfortable creating your own YouTube channel, what you do is you contact me and I'll record them for you.
There you go. That's a win-win.
That's right. That's right. Let's see who all we got in here. We've got Paul's Paranormal, Ash's Antics, which Ashes and I are going to be doing a episode together. We got Johnny Medoc, Bigfoot, and Dano from the Cryptid podcast was in earlier. I'm not sure if he's still in here or not. But,
a lot of cryptid people don't get interested in the paranormal and vice versa.
Yeah, there is a little bit of crossover, but yeah, usually when people are into the cryptids, that's all they want to hear about. If they're into ghosts, that's all they want to hear about. But I want to give everybody a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's like I said.
Maybe this episode isn't for some people. The next one will.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give you a little information about, or I'll try to give you a little idea about what I do that I think is different with cryptids, with Bigfoot, without getting into any encounters.
Okay.
All right. Now, you know that the two cryptid camps, I guess you call it, the traditional and the woo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't usually get along with each other too much. It's either, well, you could tell I'm big, I'm old, I'm dumb. I don't know who's right.
They're both right. That's what I always say. Everybody's right. Until we have documentation and have one in a cage, everybody's right.
Exactly. So when I go out to do and I go by myself to do any type of research on this or investigation, I look into all aspects. I was watching one of your episodes earlier, and the guest was talking about being hit with infrasound.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've heard that from a lot of people, friends of mine, people I don't know, that all say they've experienced infrasound out in the woods. I've never experienced it. So instead of just saying, oh, okay, it's real or it's not real, I went to, it's a little store in town called Always. It's from Newcastle, Pennsylvania. And I bought these little things. They're about yay long, and they're called RGB sound and lights. So it's a little bar that has a little battery in it that usually lasts about 15 minutes, but you can charge it up with a cell phone battery. And when it detects any type of sound, it flashes the different lights. And its microphone that's in it goes down into the infrasound range. So when I'm sitting there and I don't go tromping through the woods and, if this Bigfoot, I know it's real, but a lot of people aren't sure. But if it's real, it knows when you're in the woods and it knows what you're
Mhm.
doing. So I carry a camping chair with me. I carry this kind of stuff with me, and I set it up somewhere. And I set those RGB lights up, and I break out a book and I sit down in my chair and I read the book, looking at these lights and waiting for something. It knows I'm there. It's going to come to me if it wants to interact. I'm not going to sneak
Yep.
up on it. So now, if there's, those lights are going off and I'm not hearing anything, okay. Now, if I get the feelings, I have validation that there's something going on with infrasound. So I'm trying stuff that's a little bit different, a little off the wall. Like,
And honestly, that's what we need.
yeah,
We need. I think there needs to be some more crossover.
yeah,
Um, you have, like you said, you have basically I think there's 3 camps. The 2 main ones are it's completely woo or it's completely flesh and blood. You and I are in that other camp where it could be both,
right,
you know. Everybody's right until we have proof.
right,
But I think that um if you're just going out and trying um to prove that it's a flesh and blood creature and you ignore the woo, you're missing all kinds of evidence.
right,
Okay. And vice versa. If you think
right,
it's totally interdimensional or whatever, you might be missing the physical part of it. So to bridge that gap, I think you need people from like the paranormal realm that have all this different equipment, you know, testing for electromagnetic fields and, not IR, like thermal cameras and stuff like that to help, because we got to come together on this stuff. We can't keep saying you're wrong because I witnessed this, so it's got to be this.
right.
That just you witnessed it doing this one thing, but I can see a bird in my yard pecking at the grass, and I'll say birds don't fly because
Right.
I didn't see it fly.
Right. Now, I know you've probably been out in the woods and experienced this, but I have pictures of trackways where I followed a trackway for a quarter mile and it stops. Okay,
Yeah,
it's in
how
the
does that
snow.
happen?
So if it went left or right, there should be a track somewhere. And then I've got trackways that I followed in the snow that went for a mile, and then you see they went into the woods. So it's like, okay, so why did the one stop and the other one didn't?
Right.
You know, I don't know. But everyone says, well, if they were out in the woods, we'd catch them on a trail camera. And then you got the people going, well, they don't get on the trail cameras because they can hear them. Well, that's BS. I've worked in the electronics field. I've worked with companies making those electronic cameras. That noise is engineered in. So if they say there's no noise on these cameras, there's no noise. I don't care how good their hearing is, they're not going to hear it. There's no noise when they're writing the image. That noise is engineered in by some engineer somewhere.
Right.
But think of it this way. Now, and I know know of Dr. Jeff Meldrum.
Mm-hmm.
I had brunch with him when he was still alive, and we had a nice, long, heated discussion about. He said that Bigfoot's nocturnal and he can't see at night. So I'm like, well, here's my point. One, if you do get a trail camera picture of Bigfoot, he's at the edge of the flash. He's not in the frame, he's at the edge of the flash.
Right.
And if he is nocturnal, which means he hunts and feeds at night, but he can't see what he's hunting and trying to feed with at night. That sort of goes against everything in the animal world, because every animal that hunts or feeds at night is nocturnal, can see at night.
Right.
So it can't be both.
Yeah, I agree.
So what I did is I'm going to do after deer season's done, because I don't want to get shot, is I have my trail camera set up and I have a solar powered wind chime that I'm going to hang up with the cameras facing in a circle around the solar powered wind chime. And then at night, the solar powered wind chime emits light. So it's
Okay.
going to have the red, blue, and green. So hopefully, and whether it works or not, I have no idea, Bigfoot will come in because it hears the sound. Hey, what's that noise? And then when it sees all the infrared light from all these cameras, it thinks it's the light from the solar powered wind chime, and I'll come in and check it out.
I like it.
It's something that no one's trying.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And
It's the old what do you want to call that? Look over here. Don't look over here. Look here.
Right.
Misdirection. That was what I was looking for. It's a misdirection. Yeah, I like that.
It's something different.
Yeah.
You know, and I've got people telling me I'm full of it because I'm trying just games. It's not going to work. Well, how do you know unless you try?
Exactly. Nobody just, and that goes back to what we were saying. That there's been this, there's the, what I don't want to call them old timers, but there's people that are encamped in this field that this is the way we do these things. We don't need any of this extra stuff. Well, the way you've been doing things isn't advancing anything anymore. We're still the only things we're getting is footprints and the blurry photos, and now we can't even trust the photos and videos because of AI.
Right.
I use AI all the time. I mean, I make videos to promote this live tonight. That wasn't me actually recording that, looked like me, but it wasn't me.
Yeah.
So we can't really trust the photos and videos anymore. So now we need to ramp it up a little bit. We need to do things like you're talking about.
Yeah. Something different than tree knocks and whoop.
Right.
That's what everyone does. Like, okay, let's do something different.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Everyone now does the drones. The drones are going to be the thing that's going to find Bigfoot. You ever heard a professional drone out in the middle of the woods?
Yeah, they're pretty loud.
Yeah, it sounds like a million angry bees. You think that anything in the woods is going to hide from that thing?
Yeah. I don't know. We've got to try something. We can't just dismiss things just because this is the way we've always done it.
No, I agree 100%, but we've got to be willing to try different things. You said, crossover stuff. I've been out there and I've got films of me back before digital cameras were ready using K2 meters on a Bigfoot investigation.
Yeah.
I ordered off of Temu. It's this little thing. It's about this big, and it's an infrared light sensor, just in case Bigfoot is using portals to go back and forth. In between, it'll show like if portals lighten up or whatever. I'll be able to see it.
Yeah.
It's like we said, I don't know if Wu's right or if traditional thinking, flesh and blood is right, or if they're both right. But I just want to be prepared for no matter what it is.
Yep, and that's exactly what we need.
And that's what I do.
You got to look for everything.
Yeah, ghost hunting and UFO hunting and everything. You got to. I guess the 80s term, think outside the box.
Right. Now, when you go UFO hunting, is there a bag limit?
I wish. I think I don't have as much interaction with UFO hunting because I keep telling them, says if you land here, you get ready. I'm driving. Move over because I'm flying this thing.
If they pick that guy up, he's going to steal our spaceship.
Yeah, you're like, oh, what was his name? Travis. If they do to me what they did to him, they abduct me. Yeah, you ain't putting me in one of those bays. I'm driving.
He's talking about Travis Walton, Fire in the Sky guy.
Yeah, that's right.
So was your interest in the UFOs? When did that start?
That started, I think, I was in my early 20s, and it was just sort of like on the back burner, because I was like Star Trek, and it's like, there's probably is something like that. But I didn't start like stargazing and start doing things, seriously trying to look for them till about the last 10 years or so. But, I think that was like that was one of the paranormal things that was actually you could see on TV back in the day.
Right.
Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars. Like, there's got to be something else out there.
And then it even went in as far as the 90s. Then you got, X-Files and things like that.
Yeah.
It kind of kept it mainstream.
Yeah.
So.
And that really, and again, I wish that the X-Files did more with the cryptids and the other stuff, but they mostly centered around aliens and UFOs.
Right. I think it's because they just didn't want us to know that Bigfoot was real.
You could be right. Because, I mean, think about it. That one episode of the X-Files, I mean, they were stranded out there in the middle of the Antarctic with no gas in their snowmobiles. And how'd they get out?
Yeah. It was a Yeti.
Yeah. Or the under ice aliens that are out there.
That's true. Or it was the Nazi base that's
Yeah, there
still
you
down
go.
there.
Yeah, the Adolf Hitler Nazi base where they went to, and that's where his double was the one was murdered, and he's down there somewhere.
That's right.
Well, hey,
right,
out there by you, don't forget we got the lake. What was it? Superior, underwater Stonehenge and pyramids.
Yeah, there's a stone down there that has a carving of a woolly mammoth on it. It's underwater, and it's got all this circular pattern of stones around it. Yeah. But
we're the first society to come here. We don't. That's just all random.
Yeah, and if they can't explain it, then it's like, well, we just won't talk about it.
Exactly, it'll go away.
Yeah. That's where we come in. It's going to be people like us who actually are going to be the ones that actually prove this stuff is real. Because mainstream science isn't going to do it. They're not even looking at it.
Yeah, I don't want to be the one that proves it's real. I want to be the one in the background that guided someone to the right way to where they prove it.
Yeah. No, I want to prove everything's real.
I'll help you get there as best I can, buddy.
Okay.
Like I said, like you talked about earlier with AI, unless you have a live body of a Bigfoot or a live alien, and I don't know how you're going to do it with the ghost, but everything else can be faked.
Yeah.
So unless you have live bodies.
That's where my buddy Tommy from Spectre and Beast 911, he has a YouTube channel where you can send him videos, and he has ways of analyzing it to see if it's AI generated and things like that. And he's got a whole channel where he's just releasing stuff that I'm going to show you that this is AI generated, and show you how I came up with that.
I'll have to send you a still picture of a ghost investigation I was on. And I took this picture long before AI was ever involved. And I guarantee you that he won't be able to disprove it.
Send it to me. I'll send it over to him.
All right. You ever hear of the Hat Man?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So many years ago, we're talking back in the 90s, I was doing an investigation at an old Elks Lodge in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. And this couple from California had bought the property for $1, and they were trying to turn it into a bed and breakfast. So now this is before battery operated power tools. You still had to plug everything into the wall. Every time the workers would leave, they'd come in the next day, their tools would be misplaced or missing, or as they're using them, they'd come unplugged. So they were way behind on getting anything done because all the stuff kept happening. So knew some people, they called us in, we were doing an investigation. So myself and my friend Chris, we'd go down to the basement. Now the basement had its unique history. So the basement, the history was, it was a speakeasy back during Prohibition. And there was this old Italian mafia dude that would always go there, and he always wore a nice suit and a fedora, just like Indiana Jones fedora. So one day he was sitting down there in his suit and his fedora at the bar, drinking, had a heart attack, died right there on the spot. He had put in his will that his funeral would be held at this bar inside the Elks Lodge, because that was his spot. So it's like they had the funeral there, and we're down there in the basement. Now, in order to get electricity to the basement, you had to run the extension cords to the lights and turn them on. Well, since we're doing a ghost investigation, we're like, well, we don't want the lights on. So there's no electricity. There's no windows visible outside because this was an illegal speakeasy. So they didn't want anyone peeking in a window. And we're down there, and I got a Sony still shot night shot camera with a night shot extender on it. And Chris is, tired. It's late in the night. He's squatted down on his, butt still up in the air, but resting on his heels, leaning against one of the pillars. He goes, "Hey, Jim." Like, "Yeah." He goes, "I feel like something's grabbing me." I said, "What? He says, "I feel like something's grabbing my shoulder." So I took a picture of him. Now, remember, back in the day, our viewfinders were that big. That was the only way you could see a picture.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I can't really see nothing. So go home. Next morning, download everything on the computer. And there, standing behind him, with an arm reaching out, grabbing his shoulder, is a shadow with a fedora holding his shoulder.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, I'll send it to you after we're done here. But yeah, you can send it to whoever you want to have them check it to see if it's no, it's not. This is well before the days of AI or even CGI or any of that stuff.
Heck yeah. I'll send it over to Tommy and have him take a look at it. But if it's back when you're saying it is, yeah, that wasn't, I mean, and yes, it did exist. Like the government had it and stuff like that.
Right.
But it wasn't something that we were doing.
Yeah, no. Us average Joes didn't have that.
Right.
Because I'm not rich. I drive a Nissan. I mean, I'm not driving around on a Bentley or something like that,
I have 2 Bentleys. And they,
well, you're the ladies' man.
Yeah, but they only exist in my mind. I only get them out when I dream.
Yeah, hey, at least you got them though, right?
That's right. That's right. Well, Jim, we've been going for about 45 minutes. Why don't you tell everybody once again where they can find your channel?
All right. You guys can find me on Paranormal Fellowship on either Facebook, Paranormal Fellowship on YouTube, or Paranormal Fellowship on TikTok. Like I said, you're just going to hear, I don't read someone else's encounters or someone else's experience. This is all firsthand stuff that has happened to me over the years. Like I said, I've been going on this for over 40 years. Come on over. Join the dark side. Our cookies have chocolate in them, not fruit.
Heck yeah. I'm there, man. Yes, everybody go over, check out his channel. He is going to be coming on. I forget what day
I think it was February
4th.
February something. Yeah, I think so.
And we're going to do a one-on-one interview. So his episode may not come out till April, but we will be doing an episode together, and we'll dive into his encounters with Bigfoot and UFOs. So
yeah, the Bigfoot encounter will definitely get you guys interested.
Good. May end up being 2 episodes by the time it's done.
Yeah,
so.
Hey, I feel sorry for all your watchers and listeners that have to listen to me that much.
I don't at all. They need to hear it. Well, Jim, once again, thanks for coming on Miss Monsters and Mullets Live. And for everybody watching, thanks for all the comments. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. And until next time, talk to you later.
Thank you all. Had a great time.